Well, the history is that, of course, as we're trying to transition out of Afghanistan, one of the things we're trying to do is set up the ANSF, the Afghan National Security Forces, which is made up of the Army and the police. So ANSF is just a combination of the two. So we're now responsible for, the 1186 anyway, is responsible for the Afghan National Police part of it, specifically in the Kabul area. And we help them work their system. We're not, we don't do it for them because that would be sort of counter to us transitioning out of Afghanistan. We're trying to set them up for success, learn how to work their system. We had to assess each of the police districts before we could figure out what they needed, how they were doing things, whether it's operational, how they were requesting supplies. We had to go in and learn how they were accomplishing that mission or not accomplishing the mission. And so the big piece that we learned is that each of the police chiefs has a different sort of issue, although common RC-wise. Relationship building, really. Just establishing that, you know, hey, we're here from ISAF, from IJC, and to work with you to help fix your problems. That was probably the biggest issue to begin with, is we had no, and I say we, the Army, the U.S. Army had no relationship with anybody who was out there. And that's what we did, was establish the relationship. So now, if there's an issue, if an IED goes off in a particular district, we can call that police chief and go, hey, what's going on? And they know who we are, and they can say, oh, yeah, this is what happened. And we will get the details about the IED going off. We don't have to go outside the wire, risk our safety to get it. They're developing their own intel, and they give it to us as well as their own chain of command. But the relationship building is really the number one piece. One of the things that we can do is really just talk with the police chiefs now. They know who we are by name, and if we have a concern, whenever we refer to their district, we can refer to them also by police chiefs. So it's a good relationship. Well, just an understanding, really. Law enforcement worldwide is sort of similar. It really is just working with people. And that's a similarity that whenever I go and talk with the police chief of these police districts to explain to them that, you know, I do the same thing in the States, that really helps build a bridge. It really helps develop that relationship. And that's really what it is. If I'm working with folks in North Portland, it's the same thing as the police chief from Eastliffe, you know, working with his local folks. And it's the same sort of, he has the same sort of issues. Does the public trust the police? What's the same in Oregon, you know? The same in the States. You know, there are some communities who are not happy with the police, and it's the same way here. It's the same thing. And whenever there are issues, there's complaints against police officers, there's you know, criminal issues going on, and it's all about human relationships. So that's really the similarity that are brought to it. The police chiefs are really interested in doing their jobs. They're interested in security. They're interested in catching bad guys. They're interested in making things happen in their district. One of the police chiefs told us, he said, one day he wants Afghanistan to be a strong country like the U.S. so they can help other countries. And that's really their perspective. What we did was help them, or help their command become aware of the issues that are going on at the police district level. That's what we did. There's a million things to take away. I think one of the things I want to express to my soldiers is that being on deployment provides a new perspective to life. You know, I think that mission accomplishment is incredibly important. Obviously, that's why we're here. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your fellow soldiers. There's a bond, of course, that develops when you go through the training, when you go through the mission itself, and then, of course, when you come home. The one thing that I want to get across to soldiers is that, yes, we missed Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and we missed anniversaries and births of children. We missed all of these things. But I'm going to talk to my soldiers and let them know that missing those dates really does enhance the ones you have to come. You really start to enjoy those times. But patience is what I've learned, and how does that affect me as a police officer? I can go to a scene now and not when it's, you know, still developing, because that requires quick action, of course. But a scene where a crime has happened, step back for a minute, you know, take my patience and apply it, and go, what really happened here? And I think that'll help with the investigation side of being a police officer and working with people. One of my squad leaders out there is a state trooper, so he's going out and meeting with the police chiefs and they can talk, and he's an older guy like most of us on the guard are, and I think that's a good thing. Just life experience in general. You couldn't take a 21-year-old squad leader like I've done. Sergeant Connell, state trooper. He's my age, and he goes out there with life experience. If it's an engineer issue, I have a contractor over at Camp Eggers. He's a contractor at home. There's no military MOS equivalent to that. So he understands what it takes to get bids, and when a bid doesn't look right, and to make all the pieces happen and coordinate that. You don't get that on active duty. Phoenix is tan. The buildings are tan, the ground is tan, the cars are tan, the sky is tan, everything's tan. So I can tell you from my last time, it was the same way last time. When you see Oregon, and it's got that emerald green on it from the airplane, that color just really comes alive. And I think it really, another thing that I appreciate about being on deployment is that you get to see those things.